This is also YouTube. Let me tell you something weird about YouTube. If you were out of drag and your nipple was out, they wouldn't care. But if your nipple slipped out now, they would demonetize the video because it's a female nipple.
Female.
Who cares?
Well,
all right.
Some females don't have nipples.
Okay.
Do they not?
I don't know. Well, we'll find out.
Some of them don't, listen.
Sound out the comments if you don't have nipples and you're fierce. All right, so, oh, hold on, my nut. Oh my God. Hi, it's Trixie Mattel and welcome back to The Pit Stop, the show where we recap RuPaul's Drag Race Season 16. Today we're on episode 9 and we have in the studio somebody who is always serving fashion from season 15, Luxx Noir London, people.
Hi, Ms. Mattel.
Look at the reveal. Get the shoes, baby, get the shoes. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm happy to be here too.
I think you were built for the pit stop.
I in a way built the pit stop. I'm kidding, no I didn't.
No, you did.
No, not really. But I kind of feel like this is a long time coming. You have lipstick on your teeth.
Oh, see, she's helping me already.
Everybody on my season thought I was a bitch, but I always tell the girls they had lipstick on their teeth.
I appreciate it.
And then why they should go home.
So we collabed on my channel, of course, which I'm sure has
did.
been a highlight of your life.
It has been, not even kidding.
Thank you. But what else have you done since Drag Race?
I've gone to the Emmys. I won an Emmy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Drag Race Season 15 won an Emmy. I was there with the Green Goblin, Poppy.
Holy crap, you were there with was that were people just
Everybody was kind of just looking at the Drag Race queens oh, there's drag queens here, but so I guess they kind of were just oh, and this one's green, you know?
Totally.
But I was this is kind of really sickening. Everybody's expecting glamour and vintage runway Versace pieces that may or may not have been worn by certain contestants sitting here on the pit stop.
Me.
Yes, I borrowed it from Trixie's closet. She wore it first. But yeah, I was kind of gagged. It was kind of sickening.
Would it be fair to say you are a Drag Race super fan?
I would say so.
Okay.
I'm definitely a huge fan of Drag Race. Super fan.
Do you think that helps you or hurts you as a competitor?
I think it helps because you kind of know, not what to expect, but there are more outcomes that you know are possible. You know there's gonna be a snatch game. You know that they're looking for this, that. You see what they look for in other people and you see just how it works, you know?
Yeah. We're past the halfway point. Are you loving the season?
I am loving the season. It was a really tough act to follow, if I do say so myself. Ooh,
well,
we're gonna do that again.
That tape should not see the light of day.
And it will not, because I will sue. Season 16 definitely has a tough act to follow, but
that was
it was worth it.
I'm glad you redid it.
It was worth me doing it the first time. Yeah. And that's the only take that we have, is me doing it then.
What if every season now when we watch Drag Race, we go, it's good, but there's no Luxx?
Honestly, I like to say that there is Drag Race before Luxx and after Luxx, kind of like Jesus, before death and after death, if that's how it works. I've never read the Bible. But yeah, I feel like I definitely impacted the show in a way that a lot of people don't like to give me credit for, you know? They had that whole rate a queen thing. I rated the queens and who should go home and why.
You're I've been rating queens.
Girl, if you stay rating queens, you ain't gotta start rating queens.
Totally.
And I always say that, you know?
Yeah. All right, last week was Snatch Game. What was that experience like for you on your season? Because you did the icon, Amanda Lepore.
Well, yes, I did do Amanda. And I thought that I did a serviceable job. I was definitely safe.
That voice is so fierce. My old manager worked with Amanda a lot and had a voicemail that I heard once. And this is inside baseball, but I think it's okay. She said, "Hi, it's Amanda. I just woke up. I'm gonna take a nap."
That is so...
Is that fierce?
That's so iconic.
Sadly, we saw Tsunami, right? Oh. Ooh. The way my nut just moved when I said her name. Okay. Sadly, we saw Tsunami Muse sashay away. You know her, right?
I do, I know her well.
That makeup.
She is so gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I remember before I started drag, I would see her on Instagram and I'd be she's so pretty. I was I want to look like her.
I felt weirdly happy for her because as far as looks to leave Drag Race in, she looked drop dead gorgeous.
Oh, she never looked bad on the runway, which for me is a win in itself. There are some girls who are still there, but they have some boots.
And we're gonna talk about them.
Trust and believe.
And we're gonna talk about them. So everyone in the workroom is emotional after this elimination. Do you think it's because Tsunami gave off such good vibes?
I do, and I think that being at Drag Race, you kind of cling on to the positivity that you can.
Yeah.
Because it's there's something happening every day and it's so stressful, it kind of is good to have like a breath of fresh air in the room and like really just let the air, what am I trying to say? It's good to have someone in the room who can kind of just like lighten the air
Yes.
in the room. So I think Azunami was definitely that for the cast. When I was there, I was honestly happy to see everybody leave.
This was Morphine's first time in the bottom 2, and she's feeling emotional that she sent her friend home. I can tell by your energy that you did not relate to that.
No, I don't. I feel like, genuinely, like when I was at Drag Race, I was so in it to win it. Like I could have lip synced against my own mother and I would have been like, bye. Like I was just like, okay, that's what you have to do.
I know, it is funny that when people go home, everyone's like, you would have been like.
I think the only time I was kind of emotional is when Sugar went home.
Right.
Because I was like, like she just lip synced against like her literal, like they were in the womb together. That's kind of deep. And then when Marsha went home, because Marsha was like my bestie.
Yeah.
And then when I lost.
Yeah. Did you cry when you lost?
No.
That's good. You had nothing to cry about. You did so good.
Thank you. I mean, I had tons to cry about, but.
But as someone who does incredible makeup,
Thank you.
what have you thought of Morphine's mug this whole season?
Morphine is the mug of the season.
Bitch.
Morphine's face is so good, and she gets ready in like 45 minutes, I think.
It's unreal.
Like, it's perfection.
Perfection. Even I saw her at a gig out of drag, her out of drag beat. I'm like, where does it start?
Someone said this on Twitter, she runs a Sephora like it's the Navy, like booth. Like, I fully agree. I would let her give me like a full face. Like, I'd be like, I'd just walk in and be like, do what you gotta do.
100%. Morphine, if you ever don't want to do drag, I would literally hire her to be a makeup artist.
Oh, she is stunning.
I don't want to tell her story, but she's been touched by an angel.
Oh, several probably.
In the right way. The lips and drag, the cheeks, the way she wears a lot of makeup.
But makes it look so like not a lot.
Right, unlike your friend.
Mistress.
Who looks.
Horrible.
See. Like a Mad Lib of reading people. Plain Jane won Snatch Game. Do you think she surprised herself?
I don't know. I feel like Plain Jane knows like what she can do. I feel like she was kind of like, I'm about to burn the building, and then she did.
Yeah. Do you think that Snatch Game is a big win?
I do.
Yeah. Saphira is wanting a second win after winning week 1. Do you think she's afraid she peaked a little early?
I don't know. I feel like she's just mad that she's not winning. Because she's good at everything. So she's like, I'm good. Why am I not winning?
It's hard to win.
It is.
Because you have to do not just good, but literally better than everyone else.
Yeah, which sometimes like is hard to, well, most of the time it's hard to do. So I feel like, especially when you're on the high of like, I just won week 1, I've been on the top a bunch of times, I know I'm sickening, look at the that I have like in my closet, it's kind of just like, what else am I to do? But you're just not the best that week.
And that's what's hard about it. Drag Race only means something because you beat the best. And the best have a way of doing really good. So like, it's hard to squeak in that, like, you did just better than her. When people like Q are basically building monuments for their outfit that day, you know, it's like, well,
It's like, well, I can't really beat that.
and Queen of Flips is actually doing 12 backflips, like, you know.
And you're just like, what do I do? What
You're
can
like,
I do?
I sprained my ankle watching you, bitch. Like, now what?
Very true. I can barely like flip like a card.
You can do a split and all that, right?
Yeah,
See,
I split. I can do a flip.
you can do backflip?
No. I like to say if I learned how to do a backflip and I learned how to DJ, I'd be like unstoppable.
You can learn to DJ.
I could also probably learn a backflip. Both take a lot of effort and time that I don't think I'm committed to taking.
But I'll tell you the great thing about DJing. Once you do it, you don't have to do anything. Sure. You don't have to pants on under there.
I feel like I would though, because I feel like I'd want to like get on the DJ booth and be like,
Tea.
if the vibe is right and like the music is hitting, like.
Full worm.
Full worm. She went full worm. What do you think of that moment where Dawn said to Nymphia that they all thought she would be in the bottom?
That's kind of because it's like, I don't know, personally, like I probably would have said it too, but it's just like, everybody thinks that Plain is like the villain. Dawn has been stirring the kettle.
Girl.
Can you stir a kettle? I don't know.
It's a dawn of a new era with the shade. Like,
Oh, Booth. And everybody's just like, oh, she's so cute. Ha ha ha. And I'm like, no, she's like reading the girls down. I live.
Saphira is playing the kiss-ass game today. Ooh. Is Luxx Noir London in the house? Just kidding, do not air that. She's gonna come for me. No, don't air it.
because Plain is like, well, sister, I just don't think it was your best sister.
And then-
Dawn's like, all of us have been talking and
And we
think
all
you should-
hate you, and
Yeah,
we think
we
that
think
you
you
should
should
go
die.
like, and they're like, okay.
Yeah, Dawn, I will say, That little house key in the ear bitch really is, she's really turning over a new leaf.
She's turning a new leaf, but like opposite.
Yeah, I thought that was like my East Hollywood, like chai latte nose ring sister. And turns out she is Satan.
You're like, not like any of those things though.
Dawn?
No, like East like Hollywood, like nose ring, chai tea.
No, I thought that was my sister, like her good energy. I thought.
I
that
thought
was
like
my good vibe sister.
I was like sisters, like in like we're like related in that way.
No, East Hollywood? Are you kidding me? I wear deodorant, mama.
I mean, but she's from Brooklyn, so who knows?
That's also the tea tree as deodorant crowd.
The girls in Brooklyn, you smell them before you see them.
Why is she late for the gig? She'll be here in 3 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
you know. It just goes to show you, anybody has the potential to become that shady bitch.
Yeah, that little keyboard elf, she has something in her sleeve.
Girl, she's in that tree scheming. The next day, I almost, your ears seem very pointed right now.
Oh, the elf ears.
You know what else I thought of? Because I look like a leprechaun. It's giving the Luxx of the Irish.
When I said keyboard elf, I was very tempted to like,
You looked at me. I know you did, bitch.
but I
saw
tried
it.
to hold it in.
I saw it with your inner eye. My therapist calls it the shadow self.
My inner eye is currently in a lot of pain right now because I'm tucked for filth.
I am too.
For absolutely no reason.
Every
but
time they yell cut, she and I are like,
I'm just like,
no kidding. Next time someone sees my like you know what happened. This happened. The next day, RuPaul enters the workroom and explains that for the mini challenge, the queens will be mastering the spit take.
okay,
Do you live?
hate it.
You do?
I hate things like that.
I instantly missed COVID. I was like, remember
That
when we
is-
didn't spit on each other?
That is actually like disgusting to me. Like, oh my God, like, ew, like why would you supposed to be like spitting like in your direction, even if it's supposed to be like funny or comedic?
The spit taking, I don't know, like I would be into the pit crew spitting my way, and then
Yeah.
and I was also like, God, they're really just spitting.
Yeah, I was like, they're gonna have to clean that up like every take, I think. Also, that floor is like freshly painted, I think. Like, isn't it gonna like come up? I don't know.
Then again, as gay people,
We get
as
to
queer
choose our
people, we get to
families.
choose our But also, we get to choose what grosses us out, because I will go to the Eagle and piss in a urinal that has a mirror above it, where everyone can see my and I'm like, this is normal.
I've never been to the Eagle.
Girl, it's
I'm a Giants fan. I'm kidding.
Cut the cameras. I'm so out of here. I have to ask, would you have done the spit take, or would you have been like the vegetarian who won't dissect in high school?
I loved dissecting things in high school, I think. I don't remember. It's all a blur.
In anatomy class?
Yeah, like we had to do like owl pellets.
Oh,
I loved that. But I think anything that required me to not do like bookwork, I was like, please do it. Like if they were like, today we're gonna jump off the top of the building, I'd be like, as long as I don't have to go to page like 35, like, baby, sign me up.
Totally. I didn't dissect because I was a vegetarian, and I was like, I'm not cutting into a house cat. Are you out of your mind?
Oh, we never did anything like that.
We did fetal pigs, had house cats. House cats.
I think we had pigs like once, but like budget cuts and things like that.
It was horrible. We did a sheep's eye, an eyeball.
What is like, why do you need to look in that?
For some Buffalo Bill I learned nothing. Well, I wouldn't participate. I went to the library, listened to Ashley Simpson, and did lab drawings, which is just drawing organs. Anybody standing out to you in the spit takes?
I don't think so. I just don't like the spit take. I don't know. It's like,
for me, it was like a blur of just like, ugh.
yeah, it's like, how do you judge like how well someone like did a spit take? Like to me, like if the spit is coming out of the mouth, like you did it successfully. I just don't have my humor. I just don't see it as funny. So I couldn't really like, I would judge biasly being like, get the off the TV, I'm not watching that, you know? Like I just wouldn't look at it.
T, I'm with you. I think spit takes need to have a lot of spray. Saphira literally just spit water out of her mouth. It was like a puddle. I like more of a spray. Nymphia seemed genuinely terrified that she was gonna have to do Snatch Game again, which I get.
Real.
I get. Every nightmare I have that's not about being naked in middle school, at school, or the 2016 administration
Oh my
has
God.
to do the Snatch Game.
Now that you bring this up, because I feel like I have never told anybody this, a lot of my dreams are me in high school. But it's not like I'm a high school student. The setting is just my high school.
T, me too.
That's so weird.
I don't know what that is.
Drama.
Wasaki High School, I think about you a lot. Which high school did you go to?
Cicely L. Tyson School of Performing and Fine Arts.
And we think about it.
I met Cicely Tyson.
What did she say? Green drag?
No.
Oh, you were like a high schooler, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Nymphia wins the mini challenge and she gets $2,500.
That's gaggy.
Congrats, Nymphia. I love when the mini challenges randomly have cash prizes. And sometimes they're like, you want a pack of hair ties from CVS. And you're like,
Great work.
okay.
Thanks. And I'm fully unbald, so it's like,
Thank you.
can't wear hair ties.
Next, RuPaul explains that for the Maxi Challenge, the queens are going goth. They have to create a neo-goth look. Do you love?
I do love. I love like dark fashion. I love the color black. I love like the goth aesthetic. I'm sure people are gonna be like, stop being a poser. But like, I really do like love like the goth and the macabre.
Oh yeah. I think you would tear into this. I think you would surf.
Yeah, I would have loved to do this challenge.
Off the top of your head, what do you think you would build for this look?
I feel like I would have strayed away from doing a gown because I feel like everybody was gonna try to do something like Morticia Adams. Everybody's gonna do that. I would have done something that was like sexy and like sheer. I would have probably like made like spider webs and like made like a dress like that was like spider webbed.
Yeah.
Like really like body.
Yes, I think I would have done body, and like something like a stretch black lace, just bodied out of your mind. On All Stars, I pulled out this black sheer poodle dress at the end, and it was the last dress I had left, and I was like, I don't even like this dress very much.
I love
And then when I saw it on TV, I was like, oh, that's
It was gorgeous. Black on the runway, which is why I would have done something like more sheer and not fully black because you lose all detail on a black garment, like on the runway under all the lights.
Yeah.
And also like black can be like very engulfing.
Yes.
So unless you have like the silhouette like to a T and like you have everything really meticulously thought out, black can be a little like.
Yeah. Every year for Halloween, I wear a black lip and literally a black dress, and that's my whole Halloween outfit.
I love it.
I just go as Trixie on Halloween.
Halloween Trixie.
Literally.
Because if you're a doll, you're the Halloween version of the doll.
We hear Morticia and Wednesday referenced. Are you a fan of the Addams Family?
Never seen it.
I don't think we have any more to say.
I was watching like Hannah Montana.
Okay. The designers are no doubt Q and Nymphia, but do you think Dawn is eager for her win?
I do. I think that Dawn is actually a really good designer. I think that Dawn has an interesting eye.
Yeah.
And I think that Dawn really wants a win because she's been really close a lot of times and this is something that she's really good at. So she's like, I hope I take it home, which I can feel.
You know, there's this thing, I don't know if you agree with this, but there's this thing where you can tell when drag queens sew that they just like Google the word fashion. She does not give that. She really gives her own POV.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
It's like when someone wears plaid and they're like, it's Vivienne Westwood. It's like, baby.
Girl, no, it isn't.
Girl, no. Mama, this is garbage.
Mama, this is garbage, yes. What do you think about Nymphia's energy in the workroom where she acts overwhelmed and unsure? I mean, is it strategy?
I don't know if it's strategy or if it's just her. She kind of gives me, that's just how she is, which I kind of like really like live for. I think that like a lot of good things come out of chaos and she seems very chaotic, but she also has a lot of good things.
Also, what do you think of the interactions between Plain Jane and Plasma? Because apparently they have similar elements.
Yeah, but I don't know if this was Plain in a way trying to be like nice and look out for her because she was like, they already told you that I kind of ate you up with the same fabric last time.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying I'm doing something similar and I know I'm gonna turn it and you can't really give it like that. So maybe I'm gonna try to be a sister and I'm gonna like look out for you and be like, girl, change it, please.
Yeah, because even if they both do amazing looks, if they are similar, that looks on the runway like you're both unoriginal.
Yeah.
So I don't think she was being malicious. Is Plasma struggling here?
Yes.
As we find out, she was struggling. But knowing what we know now, because we've all seen the episode, I would be interested if just Plasma had just done what she knew.
Yeah.
Other people's ideas, don't get that in your head. We also gotta talk about Saphira helping Maya once again. It's one thing to go, hey sister, how would I gather this to make a sleeve?
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, you just like, whatever. But
Yeah,
like
you,
saying,
baste it and pull it and whatever.
saying like, hey, can you take your dress that you're making and just make me one too? I get like you're trying to be nice, but you have to realize like, you cannot save everyone on the Titanic. You know, women and children first, and she is not a woman or a child. So it's like, she kind of has to save herself. Well, I don't know if she's not a woman. I don't know.
She could be a child, she got braces. I mean,
Braces are in all ages activities.
yes.
Listen, tooth health like, is important at any age.
Tempest de Jour says you're never too old to live your dreams.
Very
And
true.
maybe her dream was to have braces. If I get braces, do you think I'll be able to do flips? Is there a correlation there?
There could be. But you might like need leg braces after.
Then you need leg braces.
Then you need leg braces, and then
Yes.
it's like arm braces, back braces.
Girl, yeah. This is the issue. If you get too much help, the room notices. And
Oh.
all your sisters are going, now wait a minute. I don't know I was sewing, you basically can do someone else's project and be safe. I kind of think it's unfair.
I do think it's unfair. I feel like that's like immediate, like, oh, did you make this? No, I didn't. You're in the bottom. Because like,
or if your BB Zahara Benet, you're like,
and
did
you're
you
like,
make this?
yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
I don't know why you would go to Drag Race without at least the knowledge to make
A tube dress.
a gown.
Yeah.
So flash forward, we're on the runway and the judges are like, did you make this? Would you have been like the whistleblower? Would you have been like, no, too vague. Like that bitch made her outfit.
I don't know. I feel like if I was the one who made it, I probably would have, knowing me, would have done something that was kind of like, you know how people will like awkward cough to like be like, what was that? I would like make like a noise or like a scoff or something to have like the attention like come to my direction. I'd be like,
I made the outfit.
yeah, something like that. Or I'd be like, oh. And then they'd be like, oh, Luxx, did she not? And I'd be like, no, I made it.
The next morning, Miss Maya, MissConfidence.com.
Girl,
Girl.
she walked in the room like, I'm about to kill it on the runway. And I'm like, girl, yeah, you are in somebody else's outfit. It's
Girl.
like,
She was like, my name is Mugler.
I am the creative director for Versace now.
I know you guys used to call me Queen of Flips, but it's Tom Ford now.
Yeah.
Thank you. Did you love that moment where Maya was like, Saphira, I could borrow your costume, I could take it in.
I gagged. That was kind of sickening. I would want to say something like that to someone, but then people would like call me like body shaming or like fatphobic because I'm just so like waif thin.
Right.
But I feel like that was like so funny, and I don't know if like, no, Saphira definitely did clock that. She was like, bitch, you just call me bigger than you.
I thought that Maya was gonna like burst out
But
laughing.
Maya was dead serious.
Dead serious.
Like she was just like, girl, yeah, I can take it in. She was like, so hand me the pattern.
I think when you can do the things with your body she does, I think she's like, well, I'm Simone Biles.
Yeah.
My name is Bella Hadid.
Yeah.
You know, I love it. I thought she was gonna laugh, and Saphira just kept blinking and looking, and then Maya kept blinking and looking.
And she
I
was like, girl,
work.
all right, let's get started.
And Maya was literally like, all right, you fat bitch, make my outfit. Like literally.
Make my outfit now.
Hey, lard ass, get to the machine. Okay, let's talk about the look, shall we?
We shall.
Category is See You Next Wednesday, which you and I did not get right away.
No, I still don't get it. Because like, see you next Tuesday is see you next Wednesday is like Kanwa.
Kanwa.
Kind of like a news channel in like the Midwest.
Kanwa, or like, have you ever tried kanwa? It's fermented carrots. Like it sounds like a food.
Like quinoa.
Yeah, kanwa. All right, so we have Plain Jane, this strappy thingy.
It's cute, but it's not like couture. Like it doesn't look like high fashion or like anything. It looks like something you see in like a bar, which is like kudos for like making an outfit that looks good, but it's kind of just like a panty with like some pieces of fabric attached to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bar costume. It's not a low bar costume.
Yeah.
If a queen came out in this, I'd be like, work.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be like, who made this?
Yeah.
You know?
I did like the hair, and I did like.
Oh, the hair and the makeup was fabulous, but she's always gonna have good hair and makeup. Like
Yeah.
she's gorgeous.
All right, Miss Queen of Flips, Maya Iman LePage.
I wish she wasn't wearing long hair because the event of the dress is in the back and you're wearing hair that goes past your ass. It's like you missed the entire back of the dress.
Yeah.
I'm sure she didn't know that was gonna be there until she put it on because she didn't make it. So she probably like picked out the wig before she put on the dress.
Because she found out in the last minute
Yeah,
what she made.
She like looked at the back. She was like, Saphira, why would you? Why would
I
you do
know. The ruffle and the long hair, her neck is gone.
that? Yeah.
To be honest, I loved the reveal of the back being lace.
Oh, I loved it.
So-
I just wish that you could see it because the hair was covering it.
Yeah.
But also like the skull on the hand, I feel like it was just there for no reason. I like when things have like intention. It's like you have birds on your shoulders. Why do you have like a random like glitter skull on your hand? It's not even like on a bracelet. It looked like
Yeah.
it was just on her hand.
Yeah, it's neo goth by way of Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
And that's the homophobic one. Next up we have Dawn.
I love this. That's body like wow. Like it's like
It's teensy tiny. It's a corset on a Q-tip. I mean, for real.
I think it looks really good. I do think that some of the details get lost because you have black on top of black. If there was like sequin on the skirt so you could see the matte against it or like vice versa, but it kind of all gets lost, but it's still very gorgeous.
Next up, Morphine Love Dion, my daughter.
That's your daughter.
I can't breathe. She is maybe my favorite.
Her mug, unspookable.
It just, and I mean this in a good way. Her face has a lot of real estate, and I love people like that whose faces can take a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
She's got big eyes, big lips, big cheekbones. She can take a lot of makeup.
Morphine looks amazing.
Amazing.
This is one of my favorite looks of the week. Like, it looks so good. Like, the structure, the like texture, like the mug, the styling.
The hair.
The hair.
The red lip.
It was everything.
I mean, that grayscale foundation down the chest, and you know I love body makeup. It all matched, and then that bright cherry mouth. I said, you better f me up, bitch. And I feel like Morphine was one of those girls who was a little nervous sewing. That did not show on the runway.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm still kind of gagged that she made it.
Morphine, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I for you. Up next, Plasma.
Hated it.
Mary.
Mama, this is garbage.
Mary Dugan.
I don't think there's a single part of it that I like.
No.
Separately or together. When I see like Cher 60s, 70s, I don't think Houndstooth.
No.
And then like the awkward like cut of the pants and like where they hit on the floor with the shoe and the jacket, none of it works.
She wanted Cher, but this is like, sure.
It's like, yeah, sure.
Sure, Jan. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
it's like Jujubee playing Cher on like UK vs. the World.
I don't think this is a look that benefited from no breasts.
No, not at all. I feel like it like went like too wide. Like it made her chest like look like she put like a flat screen TV in there. It was like it made her like it made it look like so like it like the shape was completely lost. She looks really good a lot of the time.
Plasma, I think if you're watching this, you would agree. This is not your.
I feel like she's smart. She knows that this is not
She
the
knows.
tea.
And spoiler alert, I like that when the judges started criticizing, she was like, I know.
Yeah.
All right, up next we have Saphira Crystal. You put it a really good way. What do you think of this look?
It needs to be edited. I don't think that fabric works well with that much volume.
Uh-huh.
I feel like if she would have taken away the sleeves and maybe gave a little more cleavage and didn't make the skirt so huge. Sorry, it's the spirit of Plasma's outfit coming back up. But that was,
I'm sorry, I just spit taked all over you. We hate spitting and then I spit.
It's fine.
You know, I think she was trying to do a slit, but that looks a little prolapsed to be
It looks like a
hernia.
And it's like, it feels like, there was a couple editing things, but I applaud like the construction.
Totally.
Like it's a well-constructed outfit and there's like a viewpoint. I just think that for me, the viewpoint was not in like 2020 vision.
Right, it's the future you can see.
Yeah. For me personally, I just would have done some things differently with
Yeah,
that.
totally. Up next, we have Nymphia Wynn.
Burn the building.
Girl.
Mama.
Girl.
Slayed it.
You want to talk actually like...
Funeral look? Mama, she's wearing it to everybody's funeral.
Girl.
Because she just killed everybody.
She picked up the phone, she said couture, and she hung up. Like, that's what occurred.
She like went to the government office, said, hi, I'd like to change my name. And they said to what? She said, couture.
Thank you, yes. I'm gonna disagree with the judges. I like the mystery of the face.
Yes and no. I feel like if the headpiece was just tilted slightly more back and more to the side, it would have just like, you would have seen just enough to where it would have been like, and like, eye, like kind of like eye in the shadows a little bit.
Yeah.
But no notes really. That's the only note. But this is perfect.
Yeah.
It's masterful.
The other girls, I'm happy for you all gluing your little spooky pumpkins to your hand or whatever you're doing. When this girl walks around the corner, you take off your earrings, you hang up your phone, and you lay down and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna happen
You
for
call
you
out of the
today.
gig and you say, sorry, a death in the family.
Girl.
Something came up.
And finally, we have Q.
I loved it.
All these patterns, at first I was like, what the f, what the f, what the f? And the face, at first I was like, this is giving Jennifer Lopez The Cell.
Yes, or Alexa Michelle Club Kid Runway Season 9.
Oh my God, T. Once she showed that liner,
Oh,
not just a full pantyhose, but a thigh high, I said, you better f work this.
and then the back with the bow and all the ruffling and the rouging, and it was humongous.
I think one of the best things about doing monochromatic is playing with scale and playing with print. If this had been all one print, it would have been a mess to look at.
Yeah.
The way she did tiered ruffles, the way she did that lining worked me
The
out.
one thing I will say, there's two things that I do not love. The fishnet top, I feel like it didn't need it.
Okay.
And also the rose details on the outer lining, it kind of looks like polka dots. And my first thought was polka dots and Baroque fabric. It just doesn't work for me. But now that I see that they're like roses,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
This bitch looks like she came out of a different set than Drag Race.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. Who had your favorite look today?
Nymphia.
I'm gonna say Q. The more I look at it, the more I love it.
I could see that.
Who's on the struggle bus today?
Plasma.
Yeah.
I need a blood transfusion after that. That was bad. Doesn't she look like Doug?
In drag?
No, out of drag. Like, doesn't she look like Doug the
Yeah,
cartoon?
oh, I see it, yeah.
I just thought I don't know. That just popped into my head.
After judges' critiques, we find out the winner is Q.
Okay.
Do you agree?
I could see why she would be the winner. For me, Nymphia would have been the winner.
Okay.
But I thought Q's outfit was really good.
Yeah.
But for me, Nymphia turned my inside out.
And the bottom two are Plasma and once again, Maya, Queen of Flips. Do you think it's the right bottom two?
I do.
Plasma and Maya lip sync to Bloody Mary by Lady Gaga, the Wednesday TikTok dance, Chipmunks Illusion Fantasy 2000.
That felt like a fever dream.
Girl.
That didn't feel real to watch. I can't imagine being in the room and hearing them lip sync to this sped up version of this song and being like, this is happening.
I think we really have to jump into this lip sync because I think this is gonna be a very talked about lip sync for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
It was just like, whoa. Backflips. Maya's doing
gowns.
backflips.
In gowns.
In gowns down the runway, backflipping. While Plasma is like Cher by way of Tim Burton, by way of, I don't know what, Insane Clown. Seriously. And then the wig comes off. And there's not a wig under there, is there?
No, Maya of all people I know has a pussycat wig that she could put on. She's worn one like every week. If I was Maya, I would be like, there is no one in this room that I know I can't be in a lip sync. No shades of Plasma, but especially Plasma. Like, girl, I would have just kept the wig on.
And don't forget the whole time, it's like
The chipmunk
version.
Bloody Mary.
It was crazy. It was one of those lip syncs where I said, I don't know what's gonna happen. So Maya wins the lip sync. What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Even though the wig came off and there was nothing under it. Yeah, I agree.
I think Plasma deserved to stay because Plasma's had 2 wins and didn't take a wig off. I think when you take the wig off, it's lights out.
Yeah, but Plasma did considerably worse than lip sync that it kind of like balanced it out.
Yeah. Listen, I wanna say this. At least Plasma, while she was on Drag Race, showed good drag.
Yeah.
Won challenges.
And showed like what she can do, like what she's good at. She can look good. She showed a lot, which is good.
Is Maya the lip sync assassin of the season?
I would think so. I mean, she's lip synced the most, so I guess, yeah, she is.
I know
But she also is like assassinating them.
we kind of glorify being the lip sync assassin, but it
like,
usually means you're in the bottom a lot.
I would hate to be the lip sync assassin because it's like, boy, I'm really doing so bad that I have to do this every single week.
Yeah. Luxx, we have 7 queens left. Who do you think's gonna win?
Nymphia.
Okay.
I'm voting yellow.
This is a great place to go on record and say who you want to win, because then when they do win, you can clip this and be like, told you, bitch.
Yeah, I knew it. I kind of feel like Plain could sneak in there.
She really could.
She's like doing well at like kind of everything.
Yeah, she could, Plane could sneak a landing
Yeah.
and take flight.
Or she could, I'm not gonna say that.
Crash a bird. Oh, what?
Let's keep going.
Okay. Thank you, Luxx, for joining me today. You're so incredible.
Thank you.
Where can the children find you, see you, support you?
You can find me all over the world because that's where I reside. You can find me on Instagram at Luxx Noir London, Twitter at Luxx Noir London. You can stream all of my music on all of the streaming platforms under my name, Luxx Noir London. Yeah, and just watch out because I'm coming to take the world by storm.
Some would argue you already have superstar.
I would argue that as well. I think I have because I have traveled the continents. Well, like 2 of them.
And thank you for watching The Pit Stop, and stay tuned for a very special bonus treat coming to you very soon. And thank you for watching season 16 of The Pit Stop. Next week we're on episode 10 and we will see you there. Goodbye.
If I got eliminated on Drag Race, I wanted to scribble the entire mirror in red lipstick and then with my finger write like a message. With the message probably would have just been like bye or like whore.
Oh, like Black
Black
Swan,
Swan.
just horror. That would have been so funny.
Yeah. But in an alternate universe maybe, but
Is it weird to think Shangela invented the mirror message?
crazy, season 2.
It's such a big part of Drag Race now, and it's like, wow, you invented that.
Yeah. Still couldn't get the win. Crazy.
Damn. Well, that's my fault.
You know where to go for the mecca of gay. It's right here, and you know that's right. So make sure you click to subscribe so you never miss a thing.